Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. And to conclude our month of looking at studio figures, we're going to take a look at a relative newcomer to the line. This is Jolt. Now, Jolt was one of the heavily talked about characters debuting in the second Transformers film, Revenge of the Fallen, due to the fact that his alternate mode was the all-electric Chevy Volt. Of course, this figure does have some personal connection to me, as my late boss at my former job for a weekend rented a Volt, and we all got to take a ride in it. All of us that worked at the different offices got to take a ride in it, so it wasn't bad. It was kind of a nice little fun break from the tedium. Whether or not I personally will ever buy a Volt, I don't know. So far, I haven't seen one around here ever since then, except maybe once or twice when I'm on the highway, but oh well, not going to worry about it. But it is good to have something that helps you remember people in your life. So once again, good shout out to my former boss, Glenna. God bless her soul. But at any rate, let's take a look here at Jolt's background. And first thing you're going to notice is that you've seen this background before, folks. Especially if you've been watching the channel reel a lot. You've seen this background. This background was just featured. It's the exact same background that Leadfoot came from. So, we're not even getting the right scene from the right movie. And we can tell you that it is the same, that it is not me making a copy or doing any tricks on you, because you can see down here, Leadfoot's clearly says Dark of the Moon. And the side panel here does have number 68. Which does match on Leadfoot's box here, number 68. Yes, I hadn't put Leadfoot away yet. Whereas this one, it does say here on the base, Revenge of the Fallen. And it does have the number 75 on the side, which, as we can see here from the front of the box, Jolt is number 75. So it's kind of, Hasbro, quit screwing up. This is your product. You should know better. But then again, what am I saying? Hasbro's known for their cheapness. Just ask just about any other Hasbro toy reviewer out there. We've all said it for years. And as long as they do stupid things like that, we're going to keep saying it. It's a good thing Hasbro doesn't pay my checks. Alright. Let's have a look here at Jolt. And the first thing you're going to notice is he's got some really long arms here. That comes from his electro whip weapons that he comes with. Let's get one of them removed from his hands so we can take a look at him here. And of course, these are made out of solid plastic. Unfortunately, they are of a slightly soft plastic, so they will bend a little bit, bend and give a bit. The problem is that they should really be made out of something a little more bendable. Because, I mean, if you want to display this figure, you'd like to display him in an action pose that would look somewhat realistic when you're using a whip. And as Indiana Jones and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman can attest to you, whips are not solidly straight like that. So, unfortunately, that's kind of a bad thing on Hasbro's part. They could have made these to have some bendability to them, so we could have some posing action with them. But I guess we'll just have to settle for what we got. Now, of course, if you don't want to have him with the whips, which is probably better, he does come with 2 claw fingers. Trying to find the best way to show this to you. That's the better way. 2 claw fingers. They are exactly the same, and they just plug in here to the side of his hands. Now, of course, how can you tell them apart? How can you tell them? Well, I don't know how well it's coming through on the camera, but they are colored differently, ever so slightly, than the rest of his hands. So, relatively easy to stand out. Now, at any rate, let's take a look at Jolt's articulation. His head can be turned from side to side only a little bit, but it is on a ball joint, so it will rock up and down a bit. His arms can be raised out about so far, and they do rotate at the shoulder, but some of the kibble tends to get in the way to do a full all the way around. But it will go all the way around. It's a pain to get it to do it. His arms can bend at the elbow more than 90 degrees. And he does have a swivel at the bicep. So he has G.I. Joe style battle grip. And of course his claws can be folded inwards a bit, so he has articulation at the wrist. Unfortunately, though, it's more for transforming him, so it doesn't help too much. His legs can be spread apart only about so far due to the fact the doors get in the way. You can raise his leg up at the hip 90 degrees. You can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. And he has articulation at the ankle. So we got at least some nice articulation. We could probably, if we could get him to balance right, pose him kicking somebody real good. That would almost be fun to see, wouldn't it? Okay, let's transform Jolt, and I'm going with a way that I saw on the internet more to transform him, because his instructions are a pain in the butt to follow. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to raise up the back portion. So we're going to reach into it, and we fold out this section. Get it all the way out and snap it into place. And then you're going to take these blue parts that are sticking out, and you'll fold these two inwards and connect those ends, not the front bumper. I did not say connect the bumper yet, but you will want to fold the front bumper so it's kind of up and out of the way for the moment. But like I said, do not connect the front bumper just yet. We're not ready for that. Now you're going to come here to his shoulders. This part on the front you're going to fold back a bit. And then you're going to take this portion of the back shoulder. There's a little post protruding from the curved end, and you're going to want to hook it up to the hole that's on the other end. May have to wiggle his shoulders a bit to get him into a position. Fold the back out of the way so that hopefully it's out of our way and we can get this to connect. There we go. Come around here and do the same thing for the other side. Alright, just like that. And then we take his arms, we're going to bend them backwards. And then they should also connect to form the rear bumper of the car. There we go. Takes a little finagling. Now, fold that up and out of the way. Because now we're going to take and we're going to fold in the claws, fold them all the way down. Then we're going to rotate the arms so that we stick the claws into his chest. And all the while we're going to fold the back bumper that formed from his arms. Get that to fold into the back here. Takes a little bit of finagling to get this to work. And readjusting of the arms. You will do that a few times, so don't be afraid of it. And then get the arms to connect to form the rear of the car. This part, as I've seen from many of the transformation videos, this is a bit of a pain. I think Hasbro could have come up with a better way to do this. There we go. It's connected, and you can even see nicely it's got the nice Chevy logo on the back. Of course, if any of you are wondering, yep, it's an official product of General Motors. But then again, seeing as GM provided many of the cars for the movies, was there ever any doubt? Okay, back to transforming Jolt here. We come down here to his feet. You fold out the tires for the front of the car. And then we're going to fold his feet down. So it kind of gets him down. Kind of loosen things at his knees a bit. Now here for the doors that are attached to his legs, right behind them at the upper portion, you'll fold out the rear tires. Then once those are out, we're going to rotate them around. There's a hole, there's a square hole right here at the back of the tire, and that should connect into the robot's shoulders. Just line her up and plug it in. And then once you've got that plugged in, we can finagle the leg and foot so that we can get the wheels to line up. Just like that. You know, come around here and do it for the other side. So that way both sides match. Of course, they may pop things free, so you just reattach them. There's nothing inside to connect the legs. There is a post right there. Connect them together. And then finally, you can bring down the top of the car so that it all snaps into place. There we go. Good and snapped. Then you can bring down the front bumper and connect it all up. And then there you have it. Jolt is in his alternate mode of a Chevy Volt. How well does he roll in this mode? Surprisingly, he rolls pretty good. Oops. Ended up popping the tire back under. And the only detraction to the appearance of the car, aside from if you don't have all the panels locked in the right place, is, of course, we have these holes here at the bottom of the door. Well, that was for holding his claws when you got the whips in robot mode, but the whips do have a straight piece in the middle, and that allows you to connect them to the car in car mode. And I guess it's basically a method for making sure you don't lose them. Because I certainly remember that the Volt I sat in didn't have anything like that. At any rate, we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Jolt? Jolt's not a bad figure, reasonably speaking. I mean, the robot mode, again, it's an acquired taste due to the way Michael Bay wanted the robots to appear in the film. And again, that's been a dividing point between many Transformer fans to this day. The car mode, I like how the car mode turned out. It does look pretty good, and despite the fact that you can still see a lot of the seams on it, it's not too bad, really. The biggest problem that I have with Jolt comes from the weapons. I think the whips should have been made out of a more flexible material so that way they could be bent into a better battle position. I mean, call me crazy, but if I'm going to display a figure that's holding a whip, I'd like the pose to at least look like it should be natural. And unfortunately, with these being made of somewhat stiff plastic, that's not going to be possible. I don't care for his instructions, due to the fact that they kind of make things a little confusing. Hence why I had to go online to figure it out. And I don't like Hasbro's cheapness on the display piece, because they've got the wrong movie again. It's kind of, don't these people even watch the movies that they're putting out for their product? Obviously they don't. At any rate, that's my review of the studio version of Jolt. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Now, next month here on the channel, we're probably going to go back to doing the hodgepodge like I had talked about last month. Unless we get something more to turn up here. I'm still hoping that Legacy toys are going to start showing up at the stores. I'd like to get my hands on a few of them. Remember, fans, it's a small click from you, but we do appreciate it. If you would, leave a like, share a comment, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. We do appreciate the feedback here from all of you. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you all later.